What happens when the most feared bully in prison picks the wrong man to mess with? In a Texas prison yard, one slap meant for humiliation turns into a moment no one will ever forget. The quiet new inmate didn't fight back, at least not the way anyone expected. This story reveals a powerful lesson about respect, hidden strength, and why you should never judge someone too quickly. If you enjoy intense, meaningful stories like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. Now let's get started. The prison yard in Texas was loud, restless and tense, as it always was during afternoon recreation. Groups of inmates clustered together, some lifting makeshift weights, others pacing or watching from a distance. At the center of it all was Marcus, a broad-shouldered inmate known for his aggression and need to dominate. He had built a reputation over the years not just by fighting, but by making sure everyone knew he wasn't someone to cross. New arrivals were his favorite targets. To him, they were opportunities to remind the yard who was in charge. That afternoon, a new inmate stepped into the yard under the watch of the guards. His name was Darius. He didn't look particularly intimidating. Calm posture, quiet expression, and no attempt to draw attention. He simply walked toward an empty bench, observing his surroundings without fear or curiosity. That alone caught Marcus's attention. Most new inmates showed nerves. This one didn't. Marcus smirked and nudged the man beside him. "Watch this," he said. Already moving, the chatter in the yard softened slightly as people noticed him approaching the newcomer. Darius remained still as Marcus stepped in front of him, blocking his path for a second. Neither spoke then without warning. Marcus slapped him across the face, quick, sharp, and meant more to humiliate than to hurt. A few inmates laughed, expecting a reaction. Darius's head turned slightly with the impact, but he didn't stumble slowly. He brought his gaze back to Marcus. His expression didn't change. No anger, no fear. Just calm focus. That silence felt heavier than any threat. Marcus chuckled, trying to keep control of the moment. "What's wrong, you scared?" he taunted. Darius looked at him steadily and said in a low, controlled voice, "You shouldn't do that." For a moment after Darius spoke, the noise in the yard seemed to drain away. Marcus stared at him, surprised by the calm warning instead of fear or anger. Then he laughed loudly, trying to pull the attention back in his favor. Or what he shot back, stepping closer, his tone mocking but edged with irritation. A few inmates shifted where they stood, sensing the tension building into something more serious. Marcus didn't wait for an answer. He swung again, this time aiming harder, expecting the same passive reaction. But the moment his arm moved, everything changed. Darius stepped slightly to the side. The motion so quick and controlled, it almost went unnoticed. Marcus's strike missed completely before he could recover. Darius responded not wildly, not angrily, but with precision. A short, clean counter landed squarely, dropping Marcus to the ground. In an instant, the yard fell silent. Marcus hit the concrete hard, stunned more by the speed than the impact. He tried to push himself up, but his balance was gone. Darius didn't follow up. Didn't attack again. He simply stepped back, his posture relaxed but ready, as if the entire exchange had been nothing more than a lesson. Inmates looked at one another, confusion turning into realization. This wasn't luck, this was skill-trained, practiced and controlled. One of the older inmates muttered under his breath, recognizing what he had just seen. Word began to spread quickly in hushed tones. The quiet new guy had been a professional boxer before. Prison guards started moving toward the scene. Alerted by the sudden stillness, Marcus remained on the ground, his earlier confidence completely gone. Darius glanced at him briefly, then looked away, uninterested in attention. In that moment, the entire yard understood something Marcus had just learned the hard way. Real strength doesn't need to prove itself loudly.